Hi, my name's Tom Lawless. I'm just going to do a little quick update on that last video that I did concerning Cern, the Italy, Argentinian and New Zealand earthquakes. You can see this video on my channel. I'll put a link in down below just so you can get up with the background information on this. This hopefully will be just a quick video, just an update of what's been going on at in the last 24 hours. In this video here, basically I explained the movement of these lines, which are geomagnetic lines, which I've dowsed back in 2003 across the globe. And it was a video in response to a gentleman called BP Earthwatch, and he had been talking about Cern and how it's manipulating the magnetic field of the Earth. Interesting. I'm well up for that. I can understand how that sort of works. Basically, this is an updated map version on Google Maps. I'm not a professional on computers, and it's taken me a bit of time, and it's not as good as I'd like it to be, but it's going to help us anyway for what we're trying to do here. So basically, let's go back a little bit in time. First things first, there was an experiment with Cern, and they'd shot neutrinos across to Italy, to a sector in Italy, and at the same time we had an earthquake which came in the same place in Italy just next to it. And then after that, bizarrely the day after, there was another earthquake which basically following this blue line here as it goes in this direction. After that, there was another earthquake in this section here, and then we had the big earthquake in Argentina, in New Zealand, sorry, and then we had the one in Argentina, and now we've just had the one in Japan. I actually said in my video that it was going to be in the next sort of 12-14 hours, so it would have been next 12-14 hours around this number 6 mark here. In Mexico, but it didn't actually come through 12 hours later. I said it was going to be between 5 and 7, but it actually came through after that, 12 hours after that, 6 o'clock, 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning Japanese time, in this section here. And it's just the way that this vibration has just been followed right down this light blue line until it gets to this dark blue line, where, because that dark blue line is going in the opposite direction to the light blue line, there was like a back flush in the system which created this earthquake here. That got picked up by the red line, which does go in this direction here. It made a back flux in the yellow line, which created this earthquake here. After that, we had another earthquake, which was down near the Fuji Islands. And if we just follow it through, it's actually quite a lovely sort of closing curvature sort of effect. And this is how the vibration works. It almost creates like a standing wave that collapses upon itself. And this area here in the Pacific is a place where there was a lot of earthquakes. It's on the Pacific Ring of Fire. And it's a lot of places where the vibration dies out, as it were, as it rattles across the globe. And it also is a place where the vibration can start. As I said, I thought it was going to happen in this section here. But what happens as it comes across here, this yellow line is going in this direction from west to east, and the red line is going from east to west. And as it blocked up this section here, it ran back down here to point 28, the crossing of those two lines there, and created that earthquake there. I think looking at if we just have another look at like a time scale from the earthquake in Italy. So if we're just going to follow it through here, we have this first earthquake here in Italy here on the 30th. And then that was followed by one down in Chile in this section here, and then that made it across to Japan. And then he came down to New Zealand for the 7.8, and then New Zealand got rattled quite a few times as it collected in its stagnant stage, and then it shot across again to pretty much the same spot in Argentina, and then finished up again in Japan. So if we just have a quick look on how that would actually work with this, it starts off here, it comes down through, comes into Chile, comes up back up to Japan, and then comes back down to New Zealand, where that sort of stocks up, and then that runs it back across there. So it's rang the ring of fire. And you know, I don't know anything about, if you know anything about Cern, basically it's two circles spinning particles in different directions, and then basically they slam them into each other. If that's not running from one thing into another circular system going around the ring of fire, you know, are they charging it? You know, as I say, I can't say. I'd like to know. They may not even know they're doing this sort of thing. You know what I mean? They might be completely ignorant to what they're actually doing. So consumed in finding that last molecule, as it were, just so they end up finding another and another and another and another. But you know, I think it's about time we sort of stood up and paid attention to what we're doing. So, is there another earthquake coming our way? If we look at the sun, this is the coronal holes at the moment. We've got another little one here, which should be in line. I would have thought within the next sort of 24 hours. So as this energy is rolled down here, come across the south, come right round the ring of fire, and coming back into this section here, the 28. I reckon if we're going to get anything, I think we might get between a 5 and a 7 over the next 24 hours. In this section here, I think Indonesia and that sort of place there. Be very interesting to see whether that's the last port of call of this ringing of earthquakes that we're getting at the moment, and let it hopefully get swallowed up by the Pacific, as it were, and reabsorbed into the earth. But I don't know if Cern's been firing up again. You'd have to watch out. BP Earthwatch. I haven't really got time to sort of survey all those sort of things, so thanks a lot to BP. Another one is also Suspicious Observers. Good information, good place to port a call, as it were. But you know, if you want to keep following these sort of things, subscribe to the channel below, find me on Facebook, or have a look at my website, tomlawless.net. It's actually not really well in place at the moment, but we're working on it at the moment. Yeah, so enjoy, take it easy. As I said, I reckon over in Indonesia, I reckon you might get something between the 5 and 7 range. Probably hitting more in the sort of 6 in the next sort of 24 hours. So keep your eyes peeled, enjoy yourselves, take it easy, always. Tea.